to record the lecture. Okay, thank you so much. So last time we talked in general about the cover page and the cover page of the book, and we talked about syntax in general, and we said that syntax is the study of word order, or syntax is the study of sentence structure, and chapter 1 is about also syntax as a science, as in the scientific method. Technically, I want to start with you from page 48. I want to start from this page 48, the major parts of a speech. This is an easy topic, and you took this in 101, you took this maybe in Tawjihi, before Tawjihi, and also you took this in 101 in particular. So we're going to start the major parts of a speech, and I'm going to tell you why we need to know. Arij?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
I'd like to be the presenter for today.
You mean, are you ready? You have your slides, or you're going to read from the book?
No, I prepared from yesterday. Like I have already prepared.
You have your PowerPoint presentation, you have your slides, or you're going to read from the book for us?
No, I will discuss, but I don't have the slide. But I will
You
just
don't have slide.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I have my textbook.
You have the book.
Yeah.
Okay. And also I have shared the book with you, with all of you. So all of you can see my screen. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. So in a minute, I'll give you the floor, Arij, to present. But I need to say that if you still remember when we discussed the cover page or the title page of the book, we discussed many points about the cover page, and we said that you need to take care of the title and the cover page. Why did the author choose these or this picture in particular with these shapes? And also we said that syntax is the study of word order, and syntax is the study of sentence structure, and syntax is a science because it follows the scientific method. In this case, we gather data, we analyze data, we make generalizations, and then we test our hypotheses or generalizations against the new data. And if we find any discrepancies, any conflict between our generalizations or our rules, we need to change these rules. So this is the scientific method. We gather and observe data, we make generalizations, and we develop hypotheses. And in this case, we test our hypotheses against the new data, and we keep changing and modifying our rules. For the sake of the midterm exam, and maybe I'm going to change something, by the way, in the syllabus that I sent to you. There are new regulations. تعليمات جديدة from the university and the Council of Higher Education, that we need to have one midterm exam, 25 out of 25, and then other works, including participation, attendance, assignments, will be out of 25, and then a final exam will be out of 50. So for the sake of the midterm exam and the final exam, so the material will be not, so chapter 1 is not included, but you can read it, of course. And the first part of chapter 2. So the first part, you see this part is not included. And what I want you to take care of, so starting from page 48 on, starting from page 48 on. So if syntax is the study of word order or the study of sentence structure, what do we have in the sentence? In a sentence, what do we have?
Words.
Okay, right, words.
Main parts of the sentence, subject and verb and complement.
Right. So in the sentence,
and the word has a lot of form, like noun and verb and adjective and adverb
yes,
and phrases.
yes,
Or yeah.
excellent. Yeah, bravo. Yes, excellent. So, so in this case, in the sentence we have words, and these words can be nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, articles. Sorry. So the other question is, do we put these words in any order randomly?
No.
No.
Definitely no. Ala, Jihad?
We have a rules.
We have rules that we start with the subject, then a verb, and then the object, which is maybe it's an adverb or an adjective.
Yes, exactly. So these words are not randomly, or I mean, just they are not put in a random order. They must follow. So we order them according to what? We order them according to what?
To rules.
Especially the noun has a special rules and adjective has a special rules. يعني أنا بدي أوصل إنه
So according to the rules.
yeah.
This is the word. Yes, Tabarak. Excellent.
إنه كل
This is the word that
من الكلمات له قاعدة معينة يعني.
We have rules, general rules for everything, right?
Yes, for everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the word that I wanted to hear. So we arrange the words according to rules.
Yes.
So these rules, yes, these rules decide. Bushra, you want to say something, or because you're still raising your hand? Surah? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so these rules decide the right order. So if the order of the words, if the word order follows or conforms to the rules, we say the sentence is grammatical. If the sentence doesn't conform to the rules, then we say the sentence is ungrammatical or syntactically, yes, or syntactically ill-formed. Excellent. So take a very easy example like apple ate boy, or the apple ate the boy, or boy the ate apple the.
Sentence. This
even we understand the meaning. Even we understand the meaning, but syntactically speaking, the order is not correct.
Yes.
Now remember that every language has its own rules, right?
Right.
So in English, the subject precedes the verb. In Arabic, for example, in Arabic, no. In Arabic, in standard. In Arabic, the verb precedes the subject.
Yes.
In other language, maybe in Turkish and other language, we have OVS, the object, then the verb, then the subject, or OSV. Then so these rules differ from one language to another. But I have a question for you. When we talk about syntactic theory, does syntactic theory apply to only one language, like take English, for example?
No.
No.
Each language has a special rules or private rules. For
Yes.
يعني كل لغة لها قواعدها الخاصة فيها.
Okay, but I mean, this is true. This is true. This is true. But linguistic theory or syntactic theory applies to all languages. All languages have subjects, all languages have verbs, all languages have articles, let's say. So all languages must have rules to determine the right word order. But every language has its own rules. The rules of Arabic differ from the rules of English, rules of French, rules of Spanish, and so on.
Doctor?
Yes.
I wanted to say that in each language, I agree with you that according to the syntactic theory innateness, we have in our mind something called language acquisition device, in which we have these rules. So we listen, we input, and then we filter according to our language.
Excellent. Excellent, Ari. Yes, exactly. So all human beings have this mechanism, I mean, this ability, this innate ability of acquiring a language. All human beings can acquire language. It depends on the exposure. So if you are exposed to English, then your mother tongue or your native language will be English. If you are exposed to Arabic, your mother tongue will be Arabic. If you are exposed to Spanish, so if you live in an English-speaking family, then you acquire English. If you live in an Arabic-speaking family, you acquire Arabic, and so on. So what I wanted to say is that linguistic theory in general, syntactic theory in particular, applies to all language in the sense that if all languages have rules that determine the right word order, but every language has its own rules that are different from the rules. But in principle, all languages have rules to determine the right word order. Now, if we go back to the question, why do we need to study the major parts of a speech and of course other parts of a speech, but we are going to start with the major parts of a speech. Raneem?
Now, the part of speech shows us how the word is going to function in the sentence. And this is something so crucial in sentence.
Yes.
Yeah, is the set of rules and principles that governs the structure of sentence.
Yes.
So yeah, we need public speech.
If the sentence is made up of words, whether lexical words or grammatical words, we need to know how to classify these words. That this is a noun, this is a verb, this is an adjective, this is an adverb, this is a preposition, this is an article or a determiner, and so on. Now, the second question, why is it necessary or important to know the parts of a speech of every word? Remember when we discussed the book or the cover page, we said that in syntax, the sentence is made up of smaller units. We don't have, remember my question about do we have ready sentences in our mental lexicon or in our mental dictionary or our lexicon? And we said, no, we don't have ready sentences. You open your mouth, then the sentence goes automatically one shot. No, the sentence is made up of, or comes in the form of parts or chunks. We are going to call them constituents or constituents. Remember the dishes in the cover page? On the cover page, we said smaller, then bigger, and bigger dishes. So the big dish is the sentence. Then we have a smaller one, which is, let's say, NP, NVP, for example. Then we have a smaller one, which is the NP only. And within the NP, maybe we have an adjective phrase, and so on. And within the adjective phrase, we may have another adverb and another adverb phrase. So in the sentence, the hierarchy of the sentence, we have units or parts that are smaller, of course, small parts that are included within larger units or larger constituents. So it is necessary to know the part of a speech of every word, because this is necessary, and we will see that we need them. We need to know that this is a noun, this is a verb, this is an adjective, and so on, to be able to draw a syntactic tree. And also, if you know that this is a noun, you know that the noun can be what? Can the noun be?
And to understand the meaning, understand what happened.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the meaning is related to semantics, of course. If you don't know the meaning, of course, you will not be able to understand the meaning of the sentence.
Yeah.
But syntactically speaking, now, if you know that this word is a noun, so this word cannot be used as a verb. Now, nouns in English can be what? Subjects?
Objects.
Remember 101, objects. Whether direct or direct objects or indirect objects.
Yeah.
Or objects of prepositions. Or remember pattern 2 sentences, noun subjective complement or noun objective complement, noun objective complement. Yes. If you know that this word is a verb, then automatically you know that this word cannot be the subject, because verbs cannot be in subject positions. Raneem? Okay, now your colleague Arij is going to help in presenting the major parts of a speech, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. These are the major parts of a speech, but of course we have other parts of a speech. Yes, Arij.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is me, Arij Zbara. Today we will be discussing the major parts of a speech: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So parts of a speech have two definitions. In other words, I can determine the parts of a speech of a word depending on two things. I have two ways. Either the semantic classical definition, depending on the meaning of the word, or the distributional definition. Let's just start with the semantic classical definition. It's very simple. I will break it down to you. So noun, according to this definitions, noun can be defined as a place, person, or thing. A verb is an action. Adjective gives information and details about the noun. Adverbs describe the time, the place of the verb. The problem with this classic definition that it's very simple, that the same word can be used as a noun or a verb. So this is not a reliable source. We are more interested in the distributional definitions. In other words, depending on the structure of the word and its position, I can determine the parts of a speech of this word. So distribution. Distributional definitions have two types: morphological distribution and syntactic distribution. So morphological distribution, the structure of the word itself. I can determine, depending on the structure of a word, if this word is a noun or a verb or adverb or adjective.
How?
How? By looking at the ending, the suffix. So for example, nouns.
Can you see my screen? What Arij is talking about is very important. So in the screen here, yes, Arij, carry on.
Okay, here, for example, look at the screen, please, bear with me. So we have derivational suffixes. So this is what I'm talking about. Depending on the structure of the word, I can determine if this word is a noun. So noun, how can we know this word is a noun? By looking at the suffix. So if a word ends with ment, M-E-N-T, basement, it's a noun. Ness, it's friendliness, it's a noun. So these suffixes, it's very important to know these suffixes because it will make the process even easier. So you can determine the parts of a speech of a word very easily.
So these things help. So if you notice that basement, even if you don't know the meaning of basement, but you say it ends with ment, then you say, okay, it is a noun, because ment is a noun forming suffix. You don't know the meaning of advocacy, you know that it is a noun because it ends with ACY. But of course, you need to be careful. Be careful. You need to be careful sometimes. Yes, carry on, Arif.
So these are derivational suffixes. They change the meanings. Okay, we have inflectional suffixes relating to the grammar. We don't see much of inflectional suffixes in nouns. They are most of the time in verbs. Okay, so in nouns in English, so just look at, and I'm reading in inflectional suffixes. Nouns in English don't show much inflections. They don't show grammar as in verbs. So for example, nouns, when they be pluralized, they can take suffixes such as s as in cats, es just glasses, also children, ren children, I as in cacti,
yes,
cacti,
cacti,
cacti, as in cactus, cacti. So this is for the morphological distribution. The other
morphological distribution, yes, exactly.
So we are here.
Yes, Arif.
Yeah, okay. So the other one, which we are interested here in syntax, it's called syntactic distribution. Okay, what does it mean? It means that we know according each part of a speech has its position in the sentence. It appears in places. Okay, so according to nouns, nouns appear where? Usually at the beginning of a sentence as a subject, okay? After determiner, after adjectives. So these things help us to determine the parts of a speech of a word.
So the noun can't be used in a verb position. The noun is used after determiners like that, those, these, after adjectives, after prepositions. Nouns can appear as the subject of the sentence. Like you see the example, the syntax paper was incomprehensible. So the syntax paper, this is the subject. So this phrase must be a noun phrase because it is the subject. Or it can be the object, I read the syntax paper, or sometimes it can be the indirect object, or it can be object of a preposition. Yes, Arid.
All these conditions can happen all together. For example, this big car, okay? This is a determiner, big is an adjective, and car is a noun, okay?
Yes.
As we said earlier, that nouns appear after determiner and adjectives. Also, For example, if I say this big car is beautiful, so here a car is a subject. What else? We will move to verbs. Is that enough, doctor?
Okay, yes. For nouns, okay. There's just one point before we move to verbs, Rich and everyone. Be careful sometimes about homophonous usage with other parts of a speech. ING can be what? ING can be a derivational suffix for a noun or a verb or an adjective sometimes. So if I say that the boy is playing football now, so playing is what here?
Verb.
It's a verb, yes, it's a verb. If I say, if I say the dancing cat, Noun. Dancing here is
Adjective.
the dancing. I'm asking about dancing.
Noun.
It is an adjective.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I say reading is my favorite hobby, reading is what here?
Noun.
I think someone has unmuted his or her mic, so I can hear my okay. So reading here is what? It's a noun. So it's a gerund, right? It's a gerund, right? So please think of this sentence. I need to take this phone urgently. Just a minute, please.
أي سنتين تبعت شهر شيء.
الجملة اللي حكاها موجودة بالكتاب.
أنا سألت بس شكله ما تبعوش أو مش عارف. هو قصده عن يلي بعد noun هذول.
لأن بكرة عندنا اجتماع عندنا اجتماع بكرة بالقسم 11:30. إن شاء الله دكتور. LTR 682 أوكي. شو بلزم كمان بس YARA. تمام. إذا هاي لازم أفوت على account هذا معناها مش على تمام. إن شاء الله. سلمك يا دكتور. ربنا يحفظك. شكرا. Sorry for the interruption, but it was something related to the university. So, okay. So So if I ask you, reading is my favorite hobby. So reading here is what?
Gerund.
It is a noun. It is a gerund. So it is a subject. It is the subject, and the subject can't be a verb. This is the point. So you need to be careful. Not everything ending in ing is a noun. It can be a noun, it can be a verb, it can be an adjective. What determines this, as Arij mentioned, is its syntactic distribution. It's a place. It's a place or position in the sentence. It's a place or position in the sentence. Okay, it's a place or position in the sentence. If it is like reading is my favorite hobby, reading is at the beginning, so here it is in subject position, like we say, this is a noun. But if it is after verb to be, like the boy is playing, the boy is reading, then reading is a verb. Or if we say the cat is dancing, dancing is a verb. If we say the dancing cat, then dancing is an adjective here. So what determines its part of a speech in this case is its syntactic distribution, its position in the sentence. Another example, S. We can have cat, cats as an inflectional morpheme. Cat, cats. Cat, noun. Cats, noun. But this is singular and this is a plural. But if we say John reads, so this S is what? Or eats.
Related to the verb.
So we say that because it has S? No. Someone, please, if you don't speak, mute your mic, because I can hear my voice. You want to speak, then raise your hand, unmute your mic, and then let me know, because there's an echo, and this is disturbing for me and for your colleagues. So please, so if we say John eats, or John reads, or John sings, so this S is what? It is a verb. So sing here is a verb, and this S is not an inflectional suffix of nouns. It means that the subject is third person singular. The subject is third person singular. That's why in the simply present we add S. We add S or ES. ER for ER. Yes, Rama, I know, because sometimes if one of the students unmutes her mic, then there's an echo, or there's a back noise, and then we can't hear, you can't hear me very well. So if you want to say something, please raise your hand just to make things organized. So ER, if we say teach, teacher, Ala. Ala, Jihad?
When we make the verb to the noun, like teach, as I said, teach, teacher.
So teach, teacher, ER here is a noun forming suffix. So teach, teacher, ER in this case shows that it is a noun. But if we say tall, taller, tall, taller, is this a noun? Bayan Smadi?
No, it's for comparative.
Yes, a comparative adjective. So tall is an adjective. I don't know what's going on today, because whenever your mic is unmuted, then there's a back noise. I don't know what's going on, but
I'm sorry, doctor. My child was watching TV.
no, it's not. It's not a problem with the kid. It's a problem with the mic. If you open the mic, then I mean, if you unmute your mic, then automatically there's a back noise. There's an echo. I can hear my voice, and then this is disturbing for you. So in teacher, er is a noun forming suffix, but in taller er here is not a derivational morpheme. It is an inflectional morpheme that changes from neutral adjective to comparative adjective. Okay. We'll come back to Arij. And then maybe we still have 15 minutes. Good. So I need to share maybe, Arij, if I can share this link, this is going to be easier for you. I think it is here. So just a minute. Okay. So now if you can see this screen, and this is a presentation prepared by one of your colleagues in syntax. And then these are the suffixes, the derivational suffixes in English that show that we call them noun forming suffixes, mend, chen, and ist, and then as Arij mentioned. And then we have inflectional suffixes, we talked about them. And then this is the syntactic distribution, where we have nouns often appear after determiners, after adjectives, follow prepositions, like in school after dinner. All these conditions can happen together, like we say, in the big gymnasium. So in preposition, that determiner, big adjective, gymnasium noun. In that a beautiful shop, in preposition, that determiner, demonstrative pronoun, sometimes we call them asma ishara in Arabic, beautiful adjective, shop noun, and so on. The subject of the sentence, like the syntax paper was incomprehensible, so the syntax paper is the subject here. It is the subject, but that is a determiner. Syntax here is a noun, but it modifies another noun. So we say syntax here is a noun that functions as an adjective, and paper here is the head noun. This is for nouns, and also we have as the direct object, as the indirect object, and as object of a preposition. Now we move to verbs. Arij, can you want to carry on?
Yeah.
Can you read from the slides?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So verbs, according to their morphological distribution, we have derivational suffixes of the verbs. Verbs often end in a derivational ending, such as ate, disabete, and ize, ise, regularize. So if you see a word that ends with these suffixes, they are verb. So don't take this as a fixed rule, because sometimes these endings can happen, can occur in many words, in other types of words. Inflectional suffixes, in the past tense, verbs usually take an ed and t endings. In the present tense, third person singular. For example, she goes to school. So this is in the present tense. We have the third person singular, she or he or it, usually take the ending. The verbs takes s, usually, okay? It may end with es. Verbs can take ing ending. She was walking in the present continuous. She was walking. Here, the verb walking ends with ing. As the doctor mentioned, don't fall for this rule. It's not fixed all the time because ing, for example, can occur in adjectives, can occur in just in nouns as in gerunds. Verbs take either an, when they are specified in the passive tense. The ice cream was eaten.
Yes. Yes, Arif.
Wait a minute, please. Okay, syntactic distribution for verbs. So verbs, where we find verbs. Verbs follow auxiliaries and modals. Will, have, having, had, has, am, be, been, being, is, are, shall, should. So verbs follow auxiliaries. So we cannot find, it's impossible to see a noun is followed by an auxiliary. Okay? Verbs follow subjects. So we have this word order in English language. We have a subject, a verb, an object. This is the syntactic order in English language. So verbs follow subject. John broke another window yesterday. So John is the subject. It's a noun and function as a subject. Broke is a verb. Okay. Another window, we have the object. Yesterday, it's adverb, okay? Alice invited me to her party. Alice is the subject. Invited, as you here, notice, guys, that invited ends with the suffix ed, as we mentioned. Ed, it's for verbs, okay? So, invited is a verb. Me, the direct object, it's to, etc. This is the prepositional phrase. He rejected the offer. He is the subject. Rejected is the verb. Okay, verbs follow adverbs. Jack, as we mentioned earlier in this class, adverbs comes to describe the verbs. So here, according to the syntactic distribution, verbs follow adverbs. Jack usually attends his lecture. So Jack is a subject, usually is an adverb, attends is the verb. So here, attends is the verb. And as you notice, the verbs follow adverbs. Okay, in some cases,
and usually,
the adverb may occur
usually modifies a tense. Yes, Arif, go ahead.
Verbs can be negated with not, is not, cannot.
Yes. This is, I mean, you took this in 101, so you can, read them quickly because this is an easy topic. You took this in 101, so you can, you can just go over them very quickly, Arif. Yes, Arif. Adjectives?
Adjectives describe noun. In fact, we say that adjectives modify nouns. Adjectives give us more information about a noun. Okay, derivational suffixes. Adjectives often end in a derivational ending, such as ing, the dancing cat, ive, indicative, able, readable, al, traditional, ate, intimate, ish, childish.
Intimate.
Intimate, ish, childish, and so on. Inflectional suffixes, er, comparative, est, superlative. Okay, tall, in comparative, taller, and superlative, tallest. Big, bigger, biggest. Sad, sadder, saddest. Adjectives are typically negated by N, unhappy, unlucky, unreal.
Yes, and also be careful in cases of ing, er, en, as we mentioned, just to give you. So if I ask you in the exam, the word undo is what? Undo. So don't say un comes with adjectives. Yes, it comes with adjectives, but like
It is a
happy,
verb.
unhappy, real, unreal. It's a verb. Yes, Hamza, thank you. Surah.
I wanted to say that it's a verb.
Surah. Yes, it is a verb. So do and do is a verb. And friendly. Friendly is what? It's an adjective, although it ends with ly. We know that mainly if the word ends with ly, then it is an adverb. But if it ends with, sometimes we need to be careful because ly here is in friendly, likely. These are words ending with ly, but they are adjectives. The last one, the syntactic distribution, Arij, of, we still have 5 minutes, okay? Syntactic distribution of adjectives.
Adjectives appear between determiners, this,
Yes.
that, a, and nouns. For example, the big peanut, a little girl, an amazing woman. Following the auxiliaries, am, is, or, was, were, be, been,
After
being.
verb to be, yes. Like we say, Arij is smart. In this case, smart is an adjective. It follows is. Okay.
For example, he is great. She is sad. The weather isn't good. Warning, this distribution overlaps with verbs. Adjective.
Why overlaps with verbs? Remember that we said, I will go, I'll see you, I'll meet you, we shall go. So here, after modals, after auxiliaries, we can have, or after is, are, am, he is playing, reading, eating. We said that sometimes we have verbs. But here, when we have an adjective, remember in 101, pattern 2 sentences, like we say, he's lucky. So this is a pattern 2 sentence. And after verb to be here, after the linking verb, when verb to be is used as a linking verb, it is followed by an adjective subjective complement in this case, not a verb. Yes, Ari.
Adjectives can be modified by the adverb very, very interesting, very useful, very effective. Warning, this distribution overlaps with adverbs.
Yes. How? If we say she is very tall, so very here is an intensifier, and it modifies, very is an adverb, and it modifies the adjective tall. But if we say he's driving very quickly, he is driving very quickly, so very here modifies quickly. So very can modify adjectives, and very can modify adverbs. Now the last part, Arij, adverbs.
What is an adverb? Adverb is a word that describes verbs, adjectives, or other adverb. They are also called modifiers. Derivational suffixes many adverbs in ly, quickly, frequently, etc. Inflectional suffixes, adverbs generally don't take any inflectional suffixes. In rare occasions, adverbs can be used comparatively and follow the word more.
Yes.
She went more quickly than he did.
In this case, the adverb quickly modifies what?
The
The
verb
adverb. Yes, it modifies the verb went. Excellent. Yes. Yes, Arij?
adverbs typically don't take the prefix unless, on, unless the adjectives they are derived from unhelpfully from unhelpful.
Yes, right. So the last thing about the syntactic distribution of adverbs, the positions of adverbs, where can we find verbs?
Syntactic May I read?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Syntactic distribution of adverbs is most easily described by stating where they can't appear. Adverbs can't appear between a determiner and a noun. The quick talks. Adverbs can't appear after the verb is and its variants. Adverbs can appear anywhere else in the sentence, at the beginning or at the end of a clause sentence. Adverbs can be modified by the adverb vary. There is a limited set of adverbs that can appear after is. For example, well is preferred over good in such constructions as I am well versus I am good. Most speakers of American English don't allow any adverbs after is.
Yes, so the adverbs also can be modified by very, like we say, very quickly. So quickly is an adverb, very is an adverb. So very here modifies quickly. So here we have a verb modifying another adverb, because adverbs can modify verbs, adjectives, and also other adverbs. And these are in 101, remember, adverbs of a frequency, adverbs of time, adverbs of a place, and so on. And this is the photo chosen by your colleague Ahlam Al-Jamra. So this is the end of my presentation. Any questions? And thank you so much for Ahlam, and thank you so much for Arij. So next time, inshallah, Rawia will be presenting. Where's the book? Okay.
Open and close.
Yes, Rawia will be presenting. I want to share this with you. So Rawia will be presenting open versus closed, this part. So now we are done with nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and Rawia will be talking about open versus closed, lexical versus functional. So please, Rawia, prepare 3 and some functional and until subcategories and features. Okay, thank you so much, and inshallah, thank you for those who participated, asked questions, answered questions. Thank you, Arij, for your presentation, and it is very nice to be very enthusiastic and have the will, the willingness and the courage to present. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.